All right, guys. I was informed that you might need a little refresher on Progress Track now that you've had a few IEPs and they've been finalized, and now you're ready to put the information into Progress Track. So here we go. So you just head into Progress Track. You can just press your caseload here at the bottom and it should pop up. I, of course, don't necessarily have a caseload, but then you'll just select your student that you've had your IEP on and it's been approved and signed off by the parent, and you launch your wizard. And then yours will pop up without this data collection piece when you first go in, because you have to go to setup and have to set it up. So there's been questions in and around this. So event recording is just simply you taking data in general. So we don't need to change that. You are collecting it in number form, so that stays the same. And again, in number form. These are just how your graph will be laid out on the X and Y axis, so that doesn't need to be changed. Your ceiling goes with whatever your mastery criteria is. So if you want your ceiling to be the top point of your mastery criteria of 80, then set it at 80. Of course, our goal ultimately is for them to be at 100%. So I keep mine at 100, but it's entirely up to you. Number of sessions, it's 36 weeks in a year. So you can adjust that as needed. And this is the one area you can also go back and adjust if there's going to be more or less sessions. So you don't have to worry about that. You can come back to it as well. We are not doing add a step at all. So we just hit save and that sets it up. So for each of the goals, you will need to do that. You'll go back into setup. All that on the left stays the same. Your ceiling can be adjusted with your mastery criteria. And then you save. And then for this one, where it's a lot of questions that have come up, since my mastery criteria is 2, that means we're going to have a trend line. So all this still stays the same on the left, but my ceiling's going to be based on your baseline data of how many times you're having to give verbal prompts for your student to do whatever behavior you're looking for. So I set mine at 10 because my baseline was at 10. If it's taking you 20, then the ceiling would be 20. So you really kind of have to play that by ear, depending on your baseline data. And then hit save. So then you just go in and do your data collection. When you first go in, it gives you the goal, so you can make sure you're putting in the right data for that. You will be session history and then your new session. So then you start with 2. It wants you to put in 2 baseline data points. So you just put in whatever that is. So this is identify main idea. So I'm going to say that my baseline showing they're only at 45% and put in the date for that. And I'm going to put it in here. And then if you're going to put in your data all at once, you can do it. Then you do save and confirm. If you're putting in multiple data pieces, then you save, confirm, and log another session. So it wants 2 date baselines. So I'm going to say it was 40 this time for my second one. And then I'm going to put, make sure when you put in your dates, it likes 2 for the month, 2 for the day, and 4 for the year. So make sure you put in that format or it'll yell at you. Save and confirm. So once I have my 2 baseline, it'll then let you change it to instructional. So now, and it tells you, okay, are you sure you want to do that? And you continue. Then you've instructed on the goal. Now you've taken data to see if the instruction is working. So I have instructed them. I'm now seeing that they're at 55, and it's been, let's say, 2 weeks. So I'm going to put 22, 2025, instructional, and that's all I'm going to put in for now, just to show you. So you'll see when you put it in, you have these. So if you go through it and something, you put in the data for the wrong goal, you can just hit the plus sign and delete it. You can see the graph here. The 2 lines are your baseline, so that's where the data started, and then your trend line, and then here's your piece of data. So if I go into my data collection, you can see here's my session history I've put in. So I said at 10, it was taking me 10 times to have test do what I ask. Then once I started instruction, we're doing better. It's taking less times for me to instruct, to prompt him to do what I ask. Then you see on 7/15, I was back at 10. But the parent did email me and say they did not sleep at all last night. So I made sure that that little outlier was documented in there. Shows this up and down. And if you tap on here, it leaves the comment for you that says parent commented did not sleep last night. So you can see my trend is down, which is our goal, is to get only to have 2 prompts for them to do what I ask them to do. And that's, you just continue that same way with all your goals. And it is October 3rd. Virginia IEP said that objectives and benchmarks would be up next week. So hopefully you'll be able to see those, but it'll be the same process in putting in the data. Thanks.